So our family is pretty unique because of how close we are. Our family shows up to random events. I mean, they travel, to different states to surprise one another. I mean, it is just crazy how tightly knit our family is, and we communicate through, a massive group text, whether it's the Walker family or the Clark family. Everybody just communicates, together and shares that information. So we're very, very close, which is something very unique. So as a kid, I did show interest in the military just by, my mom and dad will tell you this, setting out little Army men all over the living room floor and playing these big battle scenes and stuff. And, I had, I would basically take the game Risk and just take all the little soldiers and set them up and pretend that they were going to war with each other. So I always had an interest in history, always had an interest in battles and warfare and stuff like that, and just battle planning and the idea of that brotherhood and camaraderie and being a part of something bigger than yourself. I knew I wanted to serve kind of going back to being a kid, just wanting to be a part of something bigger than me. I always was longing kind of for that acceptance as a kid, which probably played into it psychologically, but then even just literally, I loved my country. I loved, where I came from and wanted to give back. I've always wanted to serve. I've had a servant heart ever since I was a kid, instilled by my parents, which is something so great to them and something that they've given their life to serve others, so I wanted to do the same thing. My role model is definitely my dad. My dad is a great motivator. He's a great mentor. He's taught me, about having a Christian worldview, how to shape my worldview, just to be a man of integrity and a man of character. He is just somebody who, a lot of my leadership abilities come from my dad. He's an incredible man and somebody that I look up to and seek advice from pretty much daily, and a lot of other people do as well. So I'm pretty lucky to have him as a father, and he is definitely my biggest role model. But my mom, she's just so special, man. I tell you, she just taught me selflessness. And she's just such a woman of good character. I remember, one of the best stories about that is when I was in infantry school down in AIT in Fort Benning. She was sending me letters, and down in Fort Benning, you only get letters like in a stack that come in, every once in a while. So you might get like 3 in a day that are backdated or whatever. So I got one and I opened it and it said, hey, I'm going into surgery. She had some, issues with her brain kind of leaking in one of her capillaries there. So they were going to do a gamma ray surgery, and I'm freaking out. I'm reading this letter like, are you kidding me? I read the second one, it says like, hey, today's the day I'm going into surgery, and I'm like losing my mind, like just absolutely freaking out. And I go to the drill sergeant and I'm like, it can't even compose myself. I'm like a 18, 19-year-old kid. Just bawling my eyes out. And the drill sergeant was like, all right, Private, come here, take my phone. And so I called her, and the first thing she says, I just hear her voice on the other line going, hey, sweetie, how are you? I'm like, what? Like, how am I? Like, this has nothing to do with me. Like, you just went through brain surgery. Like, they just zapped your brain. Like, I'm freaking out. And she was like, it was not that big a deal. She's like, I'm fine, I'm resting, everything's fine. But it just speaks to her selflessness. She just cares about everybody else and wants to make everybody else comfortable and everybody else happy before she cares for herself. She is by far the most selfless woman I've ever met. So when I first told them about wanting to join the Army, they were obviously a little apprehensive, as any parent would be, but still really supportive, especially because it was the National Guard. So it would be part-time. They didn't really believe that a deployment would come up until we found out later that, okay, I can go into a combat role, which is what I wanted to do, and that deployments were possible. But I originally wanted to join to do like hurricane relief and help my community. So now we have an option to extend that throughout the world, which is amazing. But their original interest was, okay, he's going to stay local. It is still safe. So for them, that's really kind of their response was, all right, this is going to be okay. It's going to, help instill some good values. The recruiter in my living room, we made jokes that we were signing my life away, because I was 17, so they had to sign the forms for me to be able to enlist. And I'm sure my dad only heard like that they'll pay for college, and he was like, sounds good for me. But no, but they were generally supportive, just obviously a little apprehensive. Since joining the Army, they've just been above and beyond supportive. They're all about it now. I tell you, they surprised me by flying. All my aunts, my grandparents, and them came down for my basic training graduation. They've just been above and beyond supportive, and love what I'm doing. And they talk about it all the time. So I'm really, really lucky to have their support back home. So I think I'm gonna miss most about the fact that, before I met my wife, like every day after work, I would call my mom and talk to her, my way home, and just, tell her about my day and everything, and kind of catch up with her. And since getting married, I try to still do it like once a week or something, just to get on the phone with her. And same with my dad. I would try to call him and just get advice from him, and just kind of like, talk about what's going on. And the hardest part for me is just gonna be to miss watching their excitement about playing with their first grandchild. I think that's going to be really hard because I'll be there for the birth, and that's what we're praying for, is that I'll be there for that. But being able to see their excitement then is going to be amazing. But I think the hardest thing for me will be to know that I won't be there to watch them, play with them for those first 6 or 7 months and just see the excitement on their face. I think that's going to be really hard.
Do you have a message for your family before you go?
Yeah, so I just want to say to you guys, thank you. Thank you for everything that you've ever done for me, and now for my family. You guys go above and beyond, and it really is just what family does, but you guys go above and beyond just what family does. And to mom and dad, thank you for being such amazing parents and for raising me and being so supportive of everything that I've done along the years. And to Matt, thanks for being the torchbearer to go first, in pretty much anything that we've done, getting your driver's license, getting married, all the things, going to college, you did all the things first. And so we're so lucky to look up to you in those aspects. And Kyle, man, we are just so proud of the man you've become and the man you are. You're so handy, all the things that we could just call you to ask for advice on, because you are just so technically proficient at what you do, and it's really amazing. To Liana, thanks for balancing me out anytime we go anywhere, talking politics or anything, and just for adding that kind of calm sense of discussion whenever we talk about things like that. And Megan, we're just so excited to bring you into this family. Thanks for putting the wedding on hold until I get back. You guys are truly amazing, and we're so excited for you two as a couple. So to just everybody, the Clark family, the Walker family, everybody, thank you guys so much for your support with all this and for stepping up to help with Brittany and the baby. I love you guys so much, and I couldn't do this without y'all. So it is so important that we have that support back home, and it means the world to me. So thank you guys very much. I love you.